Hey friends, welcome back to another speed build in my Sims 2 in the Sims 4 series. Wow, that was a really great intro. You're welcome. So today I'm building a house for the Ramaswami family from the Sims 2 seasons. And when you start the game in The Sims 2, the Ramaswamis don't actually have their own house yet. They're just available as a family to move in. So I decided to build an unoccupied house that is in Riverblossom Hills, which is the world that came with The Sims 2 seasons. And the house that this is based on is 23W182 Mountain Pass Road. Very catchy name, I know. But it's a fairly simple build and layout. It's just kind of, I don't know, just kind of a standard looking house. I don't really know how else to describe it. But the inside, it's mostly unfurnished, which is something that they did a lot in The Sims 2. Like they would just have, like kitchen counters and like bathroom fixtures, but it wouldn't really be fully furnished or anything for your, Sims to move into. So you would just kind of have those like base things that you would expect to find in a house in real life when you move in. But yeah, it's got kind of like a little bit of an older kind of country theme in the original version. So I wanted to bring a little bit of that through. So I imagine maybe this house was maybe owned by, someone who was older and it hadn't been updated in a long time. So the Ramaswamis have bought it and they are going to renovate it, as they have money. So I thought that would be kind of an interesting storyline to bring through. And I do adjust the floor plan a bit from the original. They did have the bedroom at the front in this kind of like bump out part. So I do keep that there, but I move the bathroom closer to the bedroom, and then the kitchen's basically in the same spot, but the layout's going to be a little bit different. And I think that works quite a bit better for this. And if you aren't familiar with the Ramaswamy family, it includes Sanjay and Priya. They are a married couple who are, actually, I'll just read their bio from The Sims 2. So Sanjay and Priya are ready to settle down and start their life together. Will they settle in the beautiful town of Riverblossom Hills or find a new place to make their happy home? So yeah, they're, kind of assume that they're a recently married couple and they're looking to find a house together. So that's kind of the storyline that I kind of wanted to, keep through in the Sims 4 version here. And yeah, I think it worked out pretty well with the sort of kind of renovation storyline that I thought of. And I did also create the Sims in Create a Sims and put them on the gallery. So if you want to download them, they are available. And so Sanjay, he is interested in music. That's a big thing for him. That was his aspiration in The Sims 2. So I made him his aspiration in The Sims 4 to be a musical genius. And his traits are music lover, cheerful, and self-assured. Based kind of on his personality in The Sims 2, and then also just by his zodiac in The Sims 2. So he was an Aries, so I tried to find some different Aries traits that I could give to him, since they didn't really have actual traits in The Sims 2, outside of like if they were sloppy or neat or lazy or active. So and a lot of times the Sims just end up being like middle of the road for all of those. It was kind of weird how they did personality stuff in The Sims 2, but yeah. So, and then Priya, she is really interested in being a writer, especially for like a magazine or something like that. So there wasn't a great aspiration for that specifically. So I did make her aspiration to be a best-selling author, a little bit different. And then her traits, I made loyal, family-oriented, and overachiever. I thought those would suit her well. And here in the build, I went with a lot of wallpaper throughout, just since, I thought it'd be a little bit older. I wanted it to look a little bit outdated, so I thought that would work well. And then I used the kitchen items from Cottage Living, since the original version of the house had sort of a country themed kitchen. So I thought that could work well to kind of show that, the house is a bit outdated. And yeah, maybe the house came furnished. Maybe it was just sold by whoever used to live here and they just wanted to get rid of all of their stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I went with. It's, furnished like, someone maybe a bit older had lived here before. And yeah, I struggled a little bit with the fireplace placement. I'm still kind of debating if it would have made more sense to put it on that other wall. Yeah, I don't know. And plus this whole room is a bit more open than maybe it should have been. I always have a lot more ideas for builds after I come back to them, and like do these voiceovers. But yeah, this is what I went with. If I was doing it again, I might split up the living room and dining room into like separate actual rooms. But I think it looks fine as is, but yeah, you'll just have to let me know what you think of the build. And I did want to make sure I got in a nice stereo for Sanjay, because he's very interested in music, so wanted to make sure that was in there. And I also did this as a limited pack build, since this house was kind of, it was unfurnished in the original, and it wasn't actually meant specifically for the Ramaswami family in The Sims 2. So I thought it would make sense to do kind of more of a limited pack build for this one, and then kind of go ham on the ones that are more custom made, I guess, for families. And I think I ended up just using cats and dogs and cottage living. For some reason, I thought there was a third one, but I haven't seen it yet. I might just be thinking of the other build that I did for the tiny village one, because I used 3 packs for that. But yeah, so fairly simple, amount of packs at least. And a lot of the houses that came with The Sims 2 Seasons, which is where Riverblossom Hills is, they have a lot of very country and rural aesthetics to them. So a lot of these builds I'll probably try to bring some of that through. Some of them, I think there's at least one that I'm going to probably do more of like a modern farmhouse aesthetic to, that I think will work well, to get like some of that like country charm in, but more modern and more expensive for that family. But yeah, so Riverblossom Hills is a very rural community, which we don't really have in The Sims 2 or in The Sims 4 outside of Henford on Bagley, which I considered using for this part of the series. But it was, since Riverblossom Hills is probably more of like an American themed world, I guess, it didn't make as much sense, since the houses that I would recreate wouldn't really fit in very well in Henford on Bagley. So yeah, I decided to do Brindleton Bay. It's not quite as rural as I would have liked, but there are a couple of places that are kind of near a farm in Brindleton Bay that I think will work, and there's a couple of kind of higher end looking lots that I think will work well for a couple of the builds. So yeah, I think overall it'll work, but not quite what I wanted. But here we are. So yeah, just here in the bedroom, I used that kind of wrought iron bed from Cottage Living, which I think worked really nicely in here. And the dresser, I believe, is from Cats and Dogs. That one, I think that style, worked nicely. And, a lot of different patterns going on here with the wallpaper and the rug and everything. So yeah, I think that really brings in that sort of outdated look. And then since Priya is a writer, I wanted to make sure that there was a nice computer in here for her. So I put that out here in this kind of unused space, along with a guitar and a microphone for Sanjay, so he can practice his musical skills. And I didn't even mean to do it, but in The Sims 2, the Ramaswami family comes with 35,000 simoleons, which is a bit more than families normally do. And then this house that I'm building in The Sims 4 ended up being just under 35,000. So that was kind of a nice little moment of serendipity or whatever. So yeah, so I actually, when I moved them in, I made it so they only had like 600 simoleons left, or, you know, like whatever the difference would have been. So I think that's kind of funny for storytelling. I don't like when you download them off the gallery, I don't think they have like a specific amount of money, or like I don't think you can set a specific amount. But I mean, you could do that if you'd like to. You know, if their starting funds are 35,000, if you want to bring that bit of the lore through, I guess. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. And yeah, now I'm just kind of working on the backyard. I just put a fence around it since it is in kind of a more public space. This lot is down by the waterfront, so I thought it would make sense for them to have a fenced-in yard. And then I just put in some planters. I did a barbecue and a table and chairs. I thought that would be nice for them. And then I'm slowly starting to use more terrain paint again now that it seems like that bug may have been fixed, hopefully, where it was just deleting every single time you would reload the lot, which was incredibly annoying. So I'm really hoping that it is actually fixed, but yeah, I guess we will see. And I did keep the landscaping fairly simple on here. I do really like that one tree that I put on the right there that came with cats and dogs. Really love that, like, is that a birch or an aspen? I always forget which one has the white tree bark. But yeah, really like that tree, so I wanted to make sure I had that in there. And then I had some space on the front deck, so I put in a chess table, because of course you have to have one of those if you're building anything in The Sims. And yeah, just kind of finishing up with the lighting now. Not really a lot of great lights that came with cats and dogs, really, at least specifically. I do like some of the ones that came with Cottage Living. They're like pretty nice and bright. Probably, you know, it helps that it's a newer pack, so I did use one of those, and then I just tried to use some older style lighting throughout. And then I'm just going to finish up with the exterior lighting, and then that will pretty much wrap it up for me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited about this series, so if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. That helps a lot. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Thank you so much. Have a great day.